My name is Kyle Yericki, and for my summer reading book report, I did the book Columbine by Dave Cullen, a book about the shooting that happened at the Columbine High School in Denver. First of all, the characters in the book, the two main characters were Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, and to me, my likes and dislikes about them, I liked how they provided a good story for the book. They really set it up nice, their personalities and everything. But at the same time, you really didn't like it because there were the book pointed out a lot of the flaws that drove them to start this shooting in the school. So I mean, you liked the character content of them, but you didn't like them as people if you were to ever meet them. Next, the themes of the story. Well, for me, the basic themes were, first of all, not jumping to conclusions. A lot of myths go around about the Columbine shooting, about what happened or why it happened. For example, and almost every single one of those myths came from the media. When they would hear a story from one person, they immediately jumped to a conclusion about anything from why someone was shot, selective shooting, and all this stuff, to this thing called the trench coat mafia, which really had nothing to do with the shooting at all, but led to all these myths, all because the media jumped to conclusions instead of waiting to find out the whole story. Best and worst about the plot for me, the best was how it really set up to make you sympathize with the two boys that eventually committed the shooting. It really helped you see chronologically the events that led up to the shooting, and you could almost see from their perspective why they did it. But you didn't think it was justified, but you knew why they did it now, and it was a lot more clear to you everything that went on. What I really kind of didn't like about it was how, although it did lead up a lot, there was a lot to the end of the book that really got you into it. But the beginning was, I think, almost cluttered with too much of other people's stories. And I know they were probably necessary to the book, but in the end, I think they almost cluttered the book a little too much and made it almost seem kind of erratic, the story. Emotional scenes. There were quite a few emotional scenes in the book if you really kind of think about how they hit you. A couple were when Eric Harris, when you find out he is a psychopath and you find out why he shot all those people, you really learn, it really kind of scares you that someone could have the coldness to carry out something like that. I mean, it really frightens you on a number of levels. Another one was when the boys did commit suicide after they had shot and killed 13 people and wounded so many more, because it showed that was, for them, that was their final victory on everyone else. It was an emotional scene because it was over for them. It had just, the climax was over and the story was being resolved, but there was a lot of resolution to come, and the resolution would scare you because you know that this really happened. These are real people this is happening to, and when they killed themselves, they kind of, in essence, ended it and just waited for the resolution to come instead of dealing with it themselves. Lastly, would I recommend this book? I definitely would recommend this book to anyone that knows at all of the Columbine shooting, because it dispels a lot of the myths that surround it, and you really learn a lot more about human nature and what kind of people are really out there, and it really teaches you some good lessons about what people can really be capable of. Thank you.